Welcome in, welcome in. Yo. You doing alright? Hey, you there? Oh, that's awesome. Not forgotten gave him my radio to the work last night. R906 is now 10-8. Good evening.
Howdy.
Doing alright?
Doing alright. You ready for the last part of your training?
I believe so.
Alright.
Just waiting. I don't know if Diggler's gonna make it or not. I know Smith will be in shortly.
Gotcha.
I'm just waiting back for an email from them.
What was your name?
Mine's Savage.
You're Savage. Okay. So have you done your training at all whatsoever?
We started to do some training up at military base
Okay.
last night,
So,
and we had to call it.
Okay, because I did a troop of cadets yesterday. So I was like, wait, I don't recognize you.
Hey, no worries. We're all still getting
But
used to each other.
I can. Oh yeah. I mean, I can definitely train you guys up as well.
It's like me and Diggler have 8
So,
to
do you
12
know what
months.
part were you guys left off at?
We pretty much went up there because Smith has never been an officer before. So
Gotcha.
for him, trying to get
Okay.
him caught up.
So I know the chief was telling me. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Commander Vanessa Hong.
Nice to meet you.
I know he was telling me there was somebody within our cadets that had never done this before.
Yeah, that would be Smith.
Gotcha.
Great guy. I think he'll bring a lot to it, but it's going to take him a minute. Me and Diggler have about 8 to 12 months, but we've taken about a year off.
Gotcha. I haven't been doing this for too long. I came from pretty big cities.
At one time, Mars was doing pretty good, but some of the gods let it run rampant with some people.
I believe it.
I think that's usually the
That's
death.
right.
Well, we went from averaging, well, hell, we didn't average what this city did, not. We averaged at a good time, maybe 42. And then, like, everybody started seeing through my eyes what all the shit was going on. And everybody's like, nope, we're gone.
Yep.
Now that place is closed.
Ramirez, this is...
I think he's been in his head.
So I think that's Ramirez.
It's nice seeing like there's a pretty strong like police presence going here too.
It's mainly because a lot of people wanna just kind of look around and find out. So I'm really trying to ensure we have a strong police presence. That's my job. You able to hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, gotcha.
Am I coming through okay?
Yep, you're good. Sometimes the city can be a bit buggy.
Yeah, I think that was one thing the chief was getting upset with last night.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I don't blame him. Unless he's actually in the garage. Nope.
No, just let them know that you were in and was ready to start some training whenever they got here.
Yep, I'm just waiting on any other cadets that are showing. Waiting for Ramirez because he literally needs to do 2 more units and he's good to go on his ride-alongs.
That's one good thing I always liked. Like me and Diggler worked very well together because he can't drive worth shit. So I let him do call outs while we were in chases and everything. Me, I end up panicking, trying to double speak. Everything else I feel like I've got down, but I don't know. Maybe a little anxiety.
Yeah, it can be a little nerve-wracking at times. No idea where people are.
I'm just fixing some muscles real quick.
Oh.
Like I was having issues every time I hit this, still popping something else up.
Oh, that's a car.
Yeah, I was doing quick test, see if it does it still. Fucking still does.
Just moving that way.
Hey, no worries. Every time I hit my radio, it's like doing the putting the crosshair up, and then I have to double tap it.
I've never heard of that problem.
I was sitting there trying to see if it was due to having like something else bound to it, but I'm not seeing anything.
My bad.
Okay. So, Savage, I will get back with you in a moment. Let me finish his training up and sign him off, okay?
All good. Let me move out of the way for you.
Any updates on the others?
Uh, just got an email back asking, said they would be in just a minute,
Alright.
but I don't know what their minutes look like anymore.
So you said the last thing that you guys left off of was what, one more time?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go again.
What was the last thing that you guys left off of?
Honestly, we had just got up there. We are getting ready to lock in the radar for him, for Smith, and let
Okay.
him kind of do practice some traffic stops.
Okay.
But I think all of us were pretty much exhausted at that point.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was talking to the chief and he was exhausted.
Yeah, it's like I can't do the longer nights like I used to.
For some reason, you are not on the roster. I'm just gonna toss you on the roster just for the sake of having you there.
Oh Lord.
You're probably gonna. We're probably gonna finish your training tonight, so I'll move you guys up on the roster. So you said it's Diggler, David Savage, and Smith, right? Smith,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave there for right now because he's probably gonna need a little more training.
Yeah, he's gonna need a bit. It's like previous city, I had like Air One support training, sniper training, etc., like that. But it's been a minute too.
Are you DreamF23 on the Discordia?
Yeah,
Okay, just had to make sure.
yeah, it's Doctor Enough. Local drink here. Dear God, that person quit firing shots. Or is that the paintball?
E15 radio check.
10-4.
Amy Charlie.
E15 1041.
Yeah, once you're done with your training, your new call sign's gonna be 803. You don't need to change it just yet. We're just gonna wait for the other two to show up. As for Smith, depending on his performance, he might get a little extended training.
I could see
Trust
that.
me, I had to retrain somebody 7 times.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
he's usually pretty good about picking things up quick.
Yeah. Let's see. Person got DA'd several fucking times before they got so it was like several like policy violations too.
Oh,
So yeah, so they had to get retrained. And of course it was me doing it because I'm the scary dog privilege.
that is what it is. It happens.
Yeah, went and did that. And then thought it stuck. And then it didn't stick as he got DA'd again, and then he got suspended, and then he got retrained again, and then he went back, and then got DA'd again, then he got demoted, and it just went downhill from there. It's just a repeat of DAs, demotions, and suspensions until to the point he just got removed from the department.
Dear Lord.
I think he had like 14 DAs.
E15 10-7 for a moment.
Don't let Smith hear that. He'll end up trying to break the record. Nah, just joking.
I was gonna say, if he tries, I'm just gonna fire him.
Nah, he's a good guy. He can get wound up a little bit here and there, but overall, great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I'm getting ready to email him again.
E15 is 10-8.
Well, there's Diggler. Oh, take a cough drop.
Jesus Christ, you sound like you're being suffocated by a plastic bag.
Okay, hold on.
Gotta cut back on the cigs, man.
Any better?
Nope, do it again.
Nope.
Oh, my bad.
This mother.
Any better? Any better? Any better? Any better?
No. Take a cough drop.
He did 100 times. I've been fine like that.
I believe we're waiting for Smith to swallow, right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on to hear from him. Like he responded earlier and now he's ghost.
Well, time to remove him from the roster. Now I'm kind of.
He probably had to be in his head a lot later than I did.
That one went to go restart his head, right?
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna ask. Probably not any better.
No, actually, you're good.
Oh, okay. Great.
You don't sound like you're being suffocated anymore.
What are you putting a bag over my head for?
You see, that's not me. I'm just here to bully.
Oh, okay.
That's my job as the commander.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm just a peon cadet, so you command on.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard from Smith yet.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, what's on the plan today? Anything?
Oh, if everything goes well, we'll be through with our training.
Yep. Okay. So, from my understanding, you guys have previous experience in other cities, correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. So, if that's the case, I'm not gonna go super in depth with what I'm gonna go over. Especially with you guys stating that you have previous experience. Now with your friend Smith, I probably have to teach him like he's a toddler. Would it be the first time for me? Okay. So you guys got up to the base and do you guys remember exactly what you're doing? Like what you left off at? Like 10-11s, code 5 stops?
Last night, like, we really didn't even get started. Like, time we got up there.
Okay, so you guys didn't even get your training started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it took a while for Smith to get
Gotcha.
situated.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so it was you three that Chief was talking about. Okay, so we're not gonna go up there. We're just, honestly, it's mainly gonna be verbal kind of classroom. Actually, we do have a classroom. We'll go upstairs. Sit wherever you want. All right. So, once again, I'm going to start off with introducing myself. Hello, my name is Commander Vanessa Hong. Going to be your third in command in our lovely police department. I have a very open door policy, so if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always reach out to me.
That's good.
Can you say your last name again?
Hong.
Like Hong or Hong?
Hong. It's going to be spelled hotel. Gosh, I'm
Uniform
drawing a blank.
November Golf?
Nope. Hold on. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on like how to spell my own freaking name. It's gonna be Hotel Oscar November Golf.
Okay, great. Gotcha.
Yeah, no worries.
My name is Dirk Diggler. Digler.
All right, and then I understand that over here on my right hand side is gonna be David Savage.
That's correct.
Okay. So off the bat, we're gonna go over our equipment. So the equipment that you should have, if you take a look in your inventory system, you're gonna have your department issued taser, your Glock 22, pair of handcuffs, flashlight, radio, your Nikov G900, which is a camera, ×2 SD card, 5 of each GSR field test kit, DNA field swap kit, drug test kit. You're gonna have a couple heavy armor, some empty evidence bags. I recommend carrying at least 5. One breathalyzer, one Protec XFR 801 McGrosslow. You're gonna have 3 of those, 2 fingerprint tapes, your driver's license, and ID card. Those are all the things that you should have on you. I recommend you also get some bandages and of course your cell phone.
Yeah, I've got to add a few like GSR kits because
Yeah.
I've got one.
Yeah, you're absolutely fine. More times than not, someone else on scene is gonna have those test kits. So you don't need to worry too much about carrying them around. But it's always handy to have them.
And this should be on our person, or should we put these in the trunk, or what do you think better?
I recommend carrying them on your persons. But if you find yourself unable to carry them, then I would say put them in your vehicles. Let's see. So after the equipment, we're going to go over the radio channel. So currently, right now, the radio channel is going to be 1. The radio is a little bit buggy. So if you're doing something, it may randomly disconnect you. So the way to work around it is when you go into the MGT, you right-click your name and click radio channel, and you're going to type in just 1. Then that should prevent you from getting disconnected from the radio channel.
Yeah, that's what Chief had us start doing, not 1. Which I like that way better than worrying about if I'm connecting or disconnecting.
Alright. So we're gonna go over 1011, our traffic stop. Visually speaking.
Holy shnikey, sorry about that, buddy.
That's
Yeah.
2.
That's 2, I know. I got a vengeance out for you today. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I didn't like your glasses today. You might have to get me a pair. We went over the MDT yesterday. We did some weapons license, and we did an addition to a incident report already. We were told how to get into the reports, add to the report, different things like that, add evidence. We were told.
I think that's why I was kind of skipping over the MDT, was because Savage did let me know you guys kind of went over that a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And of course, if you have any questions about it, you can always ask. Don't be afraid to ask.
One thing I also told Chief about this is, like when it comes to taking photos, like I'm dual-brained, and
it can be a little buggy sometimes. Yeah.
So, like,
I absolutely get that.
Because I've literally looked over at Dick and was like, hey, you're gonna have to throw the photo in for this one.
Oh, a little question. Why don't you put Discordia on your other one?
Just to free up the RAM and stuff over here.
Yeah, it ain't using that much.
It's not, but it's also, I'm not dual-eyed on this one.
I got you.
Oh, someone's getting a phone call.
Oh, yep.
It's not me.
It's me. You want me to answer or just send it a voicemail?
Go ahead and answer.
What is your number publicized?
Good afternoon.
Hello?
This is Dead Savage.
Hello, I'm here at the police station. I was looking to get my arms license. I'm trying to get it for a few days now. I haven't been lucky enough to catch anybody who can help me.
Okay. We actually have one of our lieutenants in here, so I will let her know.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh boy, do I want to know?
Just somebody here to get their license.
Okay. Let me go handle that. You guys want to go ahead and just hang out here for a little bit?
Yeah, no problem.
I was coming through on, like, if they call the police department, it rings me I don't know why.
That's weird. Maybe because I don't have my phone set up. I tried calling the police. It says no workers are available. Yeah, I thought Smith would be in.
I thought so too. I was like, that's the reason I messaged.
Yeah, this bug ain't no fun.
No, like Lando's going through it right now. Like he was just achy. The same thing you were saying.
Yep. I just achy. And, I mean, I'm feeling okay right now, but I just took a bath too.
Yeah, that was him. Probably the shortest bath he's ever taken in his life was this morning.
Yeah, Bobby last night. I thought I didn't know what he was trying to do there.
I neared it. He never responded.
Bad, but yeah, it kind of obviously didn't make too much sense in a way. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go up my head real quick.
Sorry, I had to mark all of us all 10-7, otherwise we were going to be bombarded with calls and, you know, let's is to a bank robbery, which we don't need.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's not a good idea. You need me to
Yeah,
make sure
yes,
I'm
sir.
off?
Just ensure that you guys are 10-7 in the CAD.
Okay, I 10-7.
Yep. Okay. Is the other one here? Diggler?
He said he needed to go in his head for just a second.
Okay. No worries. We'll wait for him to get back and we'll continue.
Take a look, you back.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
There he is.
Okay, perfect. I was just letting Savage know I marked all of us 10-7 because we do not need to be bombarded with calls.
Okay, changing now.
I've already done that. Just double check that you are indeed 10-7.
Okay, I've been clocked out.
Yep. Okay. So back to it. Where did I leave off? Right. 10-11. So we gone over equipment, the radio, how to avoid getting kicked off the radio. We were going over 10-11s, so we're gonna go over it very briefly.
Okay.
So when you're initiating a 10-11, you'll as you're initiating the 10-11, make sure you have your lights on, and make sure that you have your siren on. I don't know why I've seen so many probies or like probies that are barely getting into their officer phase when they're trying to do a 10-11. All they have is their lights on, and there's no indication of what they're trying to do. Pretty funny to me.
Well, I will say this, like with the siren, like if I flex the R, it just like barely does it. And if I do
Yes.
my
So
left alt, it's
yes, the left alt is
that's my third eye.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's what I was
I
kind of
mean,
gonna
I
ask. If you could let us know your bindings, your fingers, your muscles, maybe we can
yeah,
figure
I
that
would
out.
definitely change that around. So the third eye doesn't interfere too much with the lights and siren system, especially with the one that we have. Hi, come on up here. Are you Smith?
Oh. Cycle your bucks.
Yep, that's me. Sorry about that.
Okay. Just want to make sure that you're Smith. I was going over the equipment with and then the radio, and now we're going over 10-11s. Glad you could join us. So when you're initiating your 10-11,
Shit, I just now saw your thing.
the vehicle you're trying to pull over, make sure you have your lights on and have your siren on. You only need to press the left alt once. That is the default key binding. So you only keep the siren on up until you have that vehicle pulled over. Once you have that vehicle pulled over, which We can go down to the parking lot really quick to show you how to properly set up a 1011. So if you guys want to follow me. Don't ask me why that room is cut off. I think somebody probably threw a couple things in there that they shouldn't have.
Oh shit.
Yeah, crazy things, you know.
That happens.
The other city I came from, we had a similar station, and the story behind why that room was closed off is because somebody threw an IED in. Let me grab a vehicle really quick.
You want me to go down there and grab that one I have out too?
If you have that one that's pulled out already, go ahead and pull it out here. You can go ahead and just pull it forward.
Okay, it works.
There. A little too far forward. Yep, pull it back a little. That's perfect.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and switch radio channels to radio channel 2. Radio check?
Yes, test.
Yep. And 907, 907.
You got it, Smithy?
Yep.
Yeah, I had to go buy a new radio after I gave you mine last night.
So when you're pulling up to 1011, there's a very specific way that you should be pulled up behind the vehicle. So once you have the vehicle pulled into the side, you're going to start to pull your vehicle off to the left. This is what your traffic stop should look like.
Prevent anybody from running into them and running into you, correct?
Yes, when you're pulled off to the side, it prevents traffic from immediately colliding into you if you're standing up against the driver window. When you get out of your vehicle, you have two options. You can walk straight up to the driver's side, or go around the back and through to the passenger side. It is completely up to your preference. Can you guys tell me why you should not be crossing this section right here?
Because they can back into you.
Exactly, this is called the red or dead zone. Any questions so far?
Nope, everything's clear.
Just making sure, are you on the radio channel?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, perfect. Okay. When you're walking up to the vehicle that you have on the traffic stop, there's a specific place where you need to be standing. Can you tell me why this is the incorrect place to stand when you're on a traffic stop?
You're right in front of the gun.
Can you tell me why this is incorrect?
I think it's two reasons. One, they can still get a shot off, and two, they could just pull out and nick you and run you over.
Exactly, and that goes to right here as well. I've seen someone try to conduct a traffic stop while standing in front of a vehicle. Didn't end well for them.
Imagine not.
Yeah, he was not the brightest cookie in the toolbox. So when you approach a vehicle for your traffic stop, you should be by the B pillar. The reason being is in case a person has a weapon of some kind, they cannot pull that weapon and, blast your face off. Gives you a little bit of cover, and it gives you more room and time to react. When you approach the driver window or the passenger window, you should still be by the B pillar. When you start your traffic stop and when you're talking to the person that you're on the traffic stop with, never just run up to them and say, "What the hell are you doing, X, Y, and Z?" It is, quite frankly, rude and disrespectful. We want to be respectful with everybody. Always introduce yourself and what department you're from. So, when you're walking up to somebody on your traffic stop, you should be introducing yourself as such. "Hello, my name is Commander Vanessa Hong with the Los Santos Police Department. Do you know why I pulled you over today?" That would be the correct way of initiating your traffic stop once you make contact. But before you make contact or anything, you should still be inside your vehicle and transmitting over RTO what we're doing. For example, 102, I'm going to be on the 1011, nearest postal is going to be 100. We're going to be facing westbound Vespucci Boulevard. Going to be a black 4-door Charger, no 32s. Remember, keep your radio transmissions short and sweet.
Do we relay occupancy in the car?
Negative. You absolutely do not unless something escalates. For example, let's say the 1011 escalates into a 1080. As you're conducting your traffic stop, let's say you walk up, you see there's 3 people in the car and they start taking off, then you would go brake, brake, brake. 102 advise, I have an active 1080. Vehicle's going to be a black and color 4-door Charger, occupancy times 3. That is when you would say as such.
Okay, alright. A little different, but I understand.
The reason being is because we want to keep the radio channels clear with unnecessary chatter. There should not be full-blown conversations over the airwaves. You need to have a full-blown conversation with somebody, pull them off to the side, or just meet up to a spot, for example, like 102 to 907, can I meet you at MRPD? Any questions so far?
No, pretty straightforward on that.
Very good. Very good explanation.
Thank you. I've been doing this for too long.
Sounds like it.
Definitely. When you've run through so many departments, and ran so many departments, you kind of know a thing or two. So when you're on your traffic stop, of course the first thing is you introduce yourself, be respectful, and be polite. I know that they may be like the biggest scumbag to you, they're like absolutely cursing you out, but I believe in killing people with kindness. So I mean, they really can't dog on you for being respectful, right?
100%. De-escalate, de-escalate, de-escalate.
Exactly, instead of location, de-escalate, de-escalate, de-escalate. So the 3 things that you should be asking for when you're on the traffic stop is going to be, can I get your license, registration, proof of insurance? Those are the 3 things that you need to be getting from them when you're on the traffic stop.
Okay, just a quick question. They have insurance here?
I'm not too sure, but it is pretty common to ask for registration and insurance. I don't know if insurance is enabled here in the economy, but a lot of cities do, just end up going, oh yeah, here. They'll just say that they have insurance. I don't actually know if we have insurance in this city or not.
Okay.
So this is a personal thing that I do, but it's mainly because I've been from the very big cities such as GOJRP, Pro Gamer Network, etc., No Pixel. So this is a very common question that I ask when I'm on a traffic stop. Okay, Mr. Bobson, do you have anything inside the vehicle I should be aware of or concerned about? Any guns, drugs, knives, bombs, explosives, etc. You don't have to ask that at all. That's just something I personally do. It's just to ensure safety of the civilians, and yourself. If, for example, the person that you have pulled over has a weapon, they say, oh yes, I have a pistol, which is very common, I guess in this city. Like, oh yeah, I have a pistol. Just say, okay, where is it located? You always are going to ask, where is it located? And if they tell you, oh, it's in the glove box or it's in my waistband, you say, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. Just don't reach for it, don't reach for anything. Go ahead and keep your hands on top of the steering wheel, and I'll be right back with you. Then you may move back to your vehicle, and I would recommend you step back inside your vehicle. I recommend you step back inside your vehicle to run the name or plate, name and plate, I'm sorry. In the event that they decide, you know, they're gonna take off, or if somebody, God forbid, I've seen this happen before. Let's say you're in your traffic stop, you're standing outside of your vehicle, you're running the name and plate, and a 1080 comes by, and the person, the other units you're chasing decides that they're gonna careen into your traffic stop. Yeah, better to be inside your vehicle.
Definitely true.
So, it gives you a little more mobility, especially if they decide that they're going to take off. So if they take off, you just drop your MBT and you just, you know, start chasing.
Another question here. Is this a city that the driver is able to have the gun in his lap?
As far as I'm aware, I do not know about drivers having firearms visible in their lap. That's not something that I'm aware of. I do know that there is weapons license. I'm not sure if concealed carry is enforced. I have to double check with our law book. But generally speaking, a lot of the civilians here, if you're cool with them, they're cool with you. A lot of the community here, because I primarily do community policing, they're very big about respect. If you're cool with them, they're cool with you. Don't pull a gun on them, they won't pull a gun on you.
That's reasonable, okay.
Because there is quite a few civilians that are very unsure about the police force, and, you know, I don't want to create that animosity between our civilians and the police department. Police department is here to serve and protect our lovely city. You know, creating that divide between the communities, no bueno. This is teamwork. Community, you know, we're here to serve and protect. So yeah, I definitely believe in being just respectful. Even if they're like absolutely being rude to you. Of course, don't take that disrespect, but you know, at the same time, it's a matter of being the bigger person. Because at the end of the day, if you're seen, you know, yelling, cursing, and screaming at somebody because they called you a bitch, doesn't look good for the PD, doesn't look good for you.
No, that's understandable.
Any questions so far about 1011?
No, again, you're well done.
Thank you. So, when it comes to writing citations, there's three levels of interactions with civilians. You can give them a verbal, a written, and a citation. So a verbal warning is when you quite literally just tell them, hey, don't do that again. A written warning quite literally says, hey, don't do that again, but in writing. The citation says, hey, don't do that again, but here's the consequences of being told, don't do that again. And of course, there's where you just straight up arrest them. But that... Rarely do you arrest somebody for, like, running a red light, you know? Usually they're running from you with, like, 3 million other charges, but, you know, not just a red light.
Real quick. Real quick, with
Yeah.
the red lights here, it's a pause and go, right?
So this state is a stop and go state. You treat each light like a stop sign. I mean, if you can wait at the light, I would wait at the light, but, you know, if you're just kind of like actively patrolling, which you shouldn't be sitting in one spot, because that's not active policing. Yeah, if you can just wait at the light, wait at the light. But other than that, just treat it like a stop sign. Make sure traffic is clear though, because I don't want to be seeing you guys just randomly T-boning locals.
Well, that's understandable. We were part of one where you actually were told to wait the entire light, and it sucked.
Oh, absolutely, because the traffic patterns in the city suck. In any city, really. Trust me, it was like that in DOJ. God forbid, if you ran the red light and you didn't have a reason to run the red light, more than likely you're gonna get chewed out by command. Alright. So, when you're on a traffic stop, you absolutely do not need to throw the book at them. Of course, everything is up to officer discretion. There are some things where it's not officer discretion. For example, a felony. That is not your discretion. If they committed a felony such as vehicular manslaughter, you take them in. You don't just slap them on the wrist like, oh, don't do that again. Don't go running little Timmy and his friends over again. You cut them. I can't believe I actually had to say that several times over in trainings because somebody actually asked me, oh, so like what about vehicular manslaughter? I'm like, that's a felony. Because, you know, no one actually died. Crazy, right? Any questions so far?
With that said, Chief said last night that the kind of the most would be 120 months, 60 months of, you know, if it's an attempted murder on an LEO. So what would you suggest to something like that if it's a vehicle manslaughter?
So if it's vehicular manslaughter, especially like against like a local, then I would say 60. If it's against an actual civilian or, you know, one of us, 120.
Copy that.
But you absolutely don't need to slap the book at everybody. You can absolutely throw the book at people that are absolutely being ridiculous with you. Of course, you know, it's at your discretion what you want to do. If you want to write them the citation, if you want to let them off with a verbal, a written warning, etc., or, you know, knock down their citation a little bit, it's completely at your discretion. Of course, I don't want to see any corruption, otherwise I'm going to come for your throats. You understand me?
No bribes. Got it.
You take any bribes, I'm taking your gun and badge. You understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I'm glad that's understood.
Which I was 100% joke.
Trust me, I've had to take people's guns and badges before, and I'll do it again. Okay. So up next, we're going to talk about DUI stops. So DUI/DWI means driving under the influence or driving while intoxicated. What that means is they could be under the influence of alcohol or drugs or quite literally anything. I believe cell phone usage also falls underneath because it counts as a distraction, distracted driving. So I'm kind of shoe that in a little bit. But generally speaking, DUI/DWI is generally speaking a misdemeanor/felony. Of course, it depends on the severity of it. Smith.
Yep.
What is our legal limit for alcohol? What is the BAC legal limit? Do you know what it is? You okay there, bud?
Yeah.
I think he just died.
There he is.
Yep. Hello.
Speaking of dying real quick, yeah, I do need a hamburger. Anybody got some food?
I need a drink. That's all. I can.
Yeah, I don't
Could be
have
okay.
any.
Okay. You guys want to hop in the car? I'll just take us to the convenience store.
Would that be 0.08 in the city?
The legal limit everywhere, generally speaking, is going to be 0.08. Whoever's vehicle that is, make sure it's locked. We don't need civilians stealing vehicles.
Pretty sure it's locked.
If we come back and it's not there, you're getting written up.
Well, it said locked.
Come on, Blueberries, get your stuff.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
What on earth? Oh, it's you guys crashing into the box.
I didn't see a box.
God
Wow.
damn it.
My bad.
And I was just about to say, you know, I'm glad we took this car because it's just great, because people don't realize it's an LEO vehicle. But now you decide to bust my window out.
Who was that?
Didn't
Was
realize-
that you, Savage?
It was me. Like Eeyore over here.
Let me get rid of this really quick.
Be in my head for a second.
Alright. It's slash IV for that, right?
We're getting rid of a vehicle, it's gonna be slash impound.
Okay.
What on earth is wrong with this whole...
It's still there.
Still there, so you're not getting run up. Damn it, I hate these fucking baller.
I started saying my eyes, it was down, but
And we're just gonna wait for the other one.
Yeah, he said he had to be in his head for just a second.
Yep.
I thought he was trying to steal your car for a minute. While he was reaching around to see.
Nope, just had to get some stuff situated here.
Okay. So back to what I was saying. When you're on a DWI stop, you're gonna utilize it, slash me a lot, and I mean a lot, because you're doing investigation. You want to investigate to see if that person is under the influence or not. So, for example, you could be like slash me looks inside the car. Do I see any open alcohol containers? Slash me, do I see any lighters or something of the sort?
Okay.
And of course, you can also slash me, do I smell any alcohol, or do I smell any weed, or anything to that nature? So, back to what I was saying, the BAC, the legal limit is going to be 0.008. Anything over is above the legal limit, and they're in immediate danger to themselves and everyone around them.
Oh. I think his head popped.
Oh, yep. We're just gonna wait for him.
I noticed that a lot around here. Lately.
Yep. Very much so.
I know the other connect code that they put in there, I wasn't able to use that one.
I don't know. I disconnect from I have no idea. I crash because of god awful everything. I come outside the PD, I crash. I leave the PD, I crash. I try to conduct my training at Zancudo, I crash. Hence why we are not at Zancudo.
No, that's understandable. You can only take too many head pops before you're just like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It got to the point where I just pulled all the cadets into the PD radio and was like, okay, we're just gonna do this here because we keep head popping. A lot of it is going to be classroom stuff, and of course, you know, you're going to have the field stuff, like, for example, showing you a proper 1011, or showing you a proper code 5, etc., stuff like that.
Yeah, I think our previous ones, like, if they would try every now and then to do, like, group trainings, and, of course, that shit never worked.
Yeah. Every officer, deputy, whatever, law enforcement officer you want to call, I'm proud to say I'm very glad that they've never had any issues, except that one. I don't count him, because I was not his training officer the first time around.
Alright, just throw some white out over his name, you'll be okay.
Put that asterisk there, right there by.
So I'm very proud to say that I've trained well over 300 law enforcement officers.
Sounds like you know your shit then.
Yeah,
Definitely does.
I'm not even using a training guide. I've literally done so many trainings. I just kind of know it like the back of my hand.
It sounds like you're an audiobook.
I sound like an audiobook?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know, you have a nice voice.
Oh, thank you.
Know what I mean? Like, would you say stuff? So.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
That could have went one or two ways there, Diggler.
Well, you know, my past life, I'm a, you know, radio person, so it's kind of...
Ah, gotcha. Well, outside of the city, and outside of the universe, I do, you know, talk a lot. I can do all sorts of voices.
Okay, makes sense.
Jesus Christ, I don't know what's crashing over there, and I don't want to know. It's probably a local.
Oh no, last night there was explosions going off everywhere.
Oh yeah, I believe it. And you know what? I don't get paid enough for it.
No, it's like I radioed it in. I was like, and they were like, "No, don't worry about it." I was like, "Okay,
Yep.
good."
Yeah, but explosions unfortunately are very common. So it's like we have no idea if we should actually respond to them or not. So yeah.
Oh, I rolled up over into a parking garage because that's where they were coming from, and of course there's a gang over there. I was like, "Well, I'm not seeing anybody blowing up, so what's going on over here, guys?"
Right, and that's when you're just like, yeah, nope, I'm not involved. Hilariously, I love how everyone questions me about my beanie. They're like, is that department issued? I'm like, I'm gonna make it an issue. Stop asking about it.
Well, look at everybody's got keep a little bit of their self.
Exactly. So I just keep my beanie. And then, quite frankly, I think I'm like one of the only female law enforcement officers, so you know, I just kind of free reign of doing things within reason. I don't need the chief to, you know, fire me. I like my job. I do my best to try and run a tight ship.
Is this more of a night or people roughly in right now, or how's it work in this one?
So we have a lot of So we generally speaking have a lot of civilians. The civilian to LEO ratio is astronomically terrible, and I mean astronomically terrible. I apologize. More than enough times it's going to be myself against 29 civs. Do you think I'm going to deal with every single call that comes in? Absolutely not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We are definitely struggling with having an active PD. Because members of the department are choosing to be criminal/civilian rather than LEO.
Yeah, it's my understanding.
And I think part of it is because they believe LEO isn't fun, which it can be. I prefer LEO over crim/civ, because honestly there's a lot more to do, at least in my opinion. I mean, I get to interact with more people, I get to do more things. Because sometimes when you're Crim or Civ, you just kind of sit there and do nothing. Of course, there are going to be slow days on the LEO side. We're just going to be sitting on the side of the road running signal 11. But, yeah. I mean, at least you're doing something.
It's like I know, like when we took a break from our cops previously, like of course we were running crims, and it just got to the point where it was so toxic as criminals where that's the reason I took like a year.
Yeah.
That and poor Leo support.
So that's why I spend more time on LEO side, just because there isn't enough LEO. I quite frankly feel bad for LEO that are on duty, when there's a lot of civs on. I know people tell me like, oh, you can always go off and be a civ, but quite frankly, I don't really find that fun. Just because like I'm so ingrained and so used to being a LEO.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I think there's fun in both sections of
There's definite fun in both sides, but sometimes you just kind of find your niche. Like my niche is definitely doing more LEO stuff.
Alright.
I find more joy in being a law enforcement officer. I don't know, it's just a little more exciting for me.
Yeah, we definitely like kind of got hooked in that city because with what we were doing, we were running our gang making wine, like drug wine, pretty much, and stuff like that. and the gods were, because if they'd known this person a month longer, would let them pretty much do whatever they want and not do anything. But yeah, I retaliated and got a 3-day ban over it, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll see how this goes.
Yeah. I definitely strive and try to recruit more people for PD. Just because a lot of people think PD is not fun. And most times when people do ride along with me, they actually do find it pretty fun. So I end up retaining a lot of officers, at least the ones that I've trained. All the cities that I've been through, the ones that I've trained have all remained on the force, and have successfully been promoted and whatnot.
We
Despite
put
me
an
being
email out to Smith, but I'm not getting any answer.
I'm wondering if his entire power got knocked out.
Oh boy. That doesn't sound fun.
If he'd get off the damn Taco Bell Wi-Fi, he'd be okay.
Potato taco Wi-Fi.
That's what it
Pretty
is.
much.
You know, just the router is the potato tacos.
And when they change the oil, you get good service, and when they don't, you're screwed.
Exactly. So, okay, we'll catch him up to speed. We're just gonna continue on with the training. So, we definitely want to be utilizing the slash me's when you're doing a suspected DUI, DWI stop. Especially when they like roll the window down. You want to see if you smell any alcohol or any like marijuana or anything. You want to, you know, look at their eyes, like slash me looks at eyes, do they look dilated, etc. Something like that. The civs slash crims kind of have a general understanding of how to respond. If they didn't catch it the first time, you can always resend it. You could, you know, just resend the slash me, looks at eyes, etc.
Okay.
Field sobriety tests. There's different field sobriety tests that you can do. There's the one where you just have them, you know, have their head completely still, and they need to follow your finger with just their eye. I had someone fail, like, spectacularly fail that test, and that person, I think they blew like 0.015, which is hilarious, because the dude just ended up, like, just walking with my finger, and I'm like, okay, that's definitely not how you do that test, but okay. And then you always want to, so that particular test is hard to tell, if they pass or fail, so you always do the slash me, pass or fail, then they'll tell you pass or fail. Then of course there's the walking in a straight line, while counting, you can always do that one. That one's pretty easy to tell they pass or fail. And of course, breathalyzer. If they blow under the legal limit and they show that they're not incredibly inebriated, it's at your discretion what you want to do. If you want to let them go, like they can walk it off and you take the car. Or if they have a passenger drive or something like that.
Okay. Would we need to test the passenger at that point?
If you believe the passenger is inebriated, then I would. Yeah, I would always ask the passenger, are you able to drive? Okay, if you're able to, just for my safety and yours, could we do the breathalyzer test to ensure that, you know, you're not inebriated? That you're not under the influence. If they are not under the influence of alcohol, and you have a suspicion, oh, who is that? And you have suspicion that they are under the influence of, oh, that is the commissioner.
That was AJ, right?
Yep, that was AJ. And they were under the influence of, like, for example, marijuana. You would conduct a drug test on them. So that you can conduct.
And he just stole a car.
Field drug test.
Commandeered.
Yeah. Commandeering. He's just borrowing it. It's AJ. I'm not gonna question it. Alright. So, when you cuff them, when you cuff any subject, you absolutely do not need to read the Miranda rights if you're not questioning them. If you're questioning them, you need to read the Miranda rights. Otherwise, anything you ask before asking the Miranda or telling them their Miranda rights gets thrown out. So you absolutely need to read them their rights if you're going to question them at any given point. If you know that you're going to question them, Mirandaize them. Or if you're unsure if you're going to question them, Mirandaize them. So, what is the difference between a frisk and a pat down?
A pat down, well, I believe what you put your hands on them. A frisk, yeah, I don't think. Well, maybe that's wrong.
Frisk, pat down, and search.
I guess it'd be the different ways you, guess you rummage their body, so, you know.
Rummage their bodies, that's a new one.
Yeah, you like that one?
That's a new one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the
At least you
exact
didn't say
difference, but-
ravish.
Ravish, oh lord. That is how you catch a sexual harassment case, right?
Honestly, I
You got me
don't
on
know
that
the
one.
difference.
I have to explain that one.
So frisk and a pat down are relatively similar. So frisking, you're just kind of patting around them. You're not searching their pocket. You're like kind of patting their legs, their arms, etc. When you're searching a person, you're going through their pocket. When you're searching a person, you absolutely need a reason to. If you have them arrested, you can search them. If you have them detained for questioning, you cannot search them. You can pat them down, but you cannot search them.
Okay.
Now you can ask if you can search them, like, can I search you for any weapons, etc. You can do that. If they say no, hands off. Especially if it's just for questioning. But you can always pat them down. Pat/frisk. It's kind of within the same vocabulary. It's you know, when you say I'm gonna frisk you, that sounds wrong. So it's a little more polite to say pat, like I'm gonna pat you down.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I don't know if the chief told you or not. When you're writing your reports, and you take any evidence off of anybody, the evidence is going to go into the different drawers. So if your incident is incident number 36, it's going to go into the evidence drawer 36. Make sense? Gotta keep everything organized.
Yeah, we've seen how it pops up the evidence there on MDT as far as the drawer, the number, I guess.
Yep.
Now, I would, if you don't mind, if maybe you could show us. We've not been in the evidence room.
We haven't.
Yeah,
been-
I can take you down there. Yeah, make sure the car's locked. We'll just go down the ramp since it's on the basement floor. Maybe not be next to the door while it opens.
I was waiting for her to flip me over.
We are missing somebody.
You gotta back up, sir. Take a step back.
From the door so that it can actually open.
Take a step back.
Yeah, sorry, I was just...
Sir, do you not know how garage doors work?
No. I'm trying to do two things at once.
Big rule of thumb, oh lord, not this. When you're entering and exiting rooms that have a locked door, make sure to lock the doors. So this is the evidence room. When you're checking in evidence, you're gonna third eye that desk right there. I know it's a little cramped.
Okay, you just choose which drawer from there.
Yep. So if your report is number 36, it's going to go in drawer 36.
Okay, great.
So you just type in slot 36.
That is correct. We're going to head back up to the cars, show you proper formation for the code 5s. There's going to be different variations of doing it. It all depends on the layout of vehicles, road conditions, and such. So, as we know, this is a normal 1011. This is how you would stance up your vehicle in position with the vehicle you have pulled over. So we're going to leave that vehicle there, and I'm just going to pull my vehicle to the side to show you what a Code 5 would look like with 2 units. So I don't smash my window out.
Guilty of that.
So when you're pulling up to Code 5 and you're the secondary unit, you're going to pull up to the driver's side of the primary unit. You want to make sure that there's enough room between the secondary unit and the primary unit, so the primary unit can use their door as cover, and when you're apprehending subjects, that you can actually walk around the door. If you want to go ahead and unlock the car. So it should look something like this. Primary unit is always going to have non-lethal. Secondary unit is going to have a pistol. Third unit, this is a normal code 5. Third unit would either have a shotgun or a long gun. Fourth unit either has shotgun or long gun, depending on the third unit. But because units are not trained on using the long rifles, it's either going to be the pistol or the taser. Primary unit on the code 5 is always going to take command. So there should not be overlapping commands being given. That's how subjects and officers get shot. I've seen it before. Let's not have a repeat of that, yeah?
Alright.
So when you're taking commands, I recommend not using the command of I want you to back up to the sound of my voice. Mainly because a lot of people have very similar tones of voice. I know mine is very different from a lot of people, probably because I'm the only female officer. But that's besides the point. I recommend using numbers. For example, I want you to take 2 steps to the left. I want you to take 3 steps backward. When you have the vehicle, when you have the subject out of the vehicle and you're doing your code 5, you should get them to about, I'll show you, should get them to about here. We're going to use in proximity to the charger. They should be about here by the time you finish commanding them. Then the primary unit will move in to cuff them. The reason why we want to get them as far away from the vehicle is so that they can't get up and just, hop back in the car.
Okay, and just to go over a couple of things, because the code 5, that would be a felony arrest, felony warrant?
So, code 5 means high risk felony / felony stop. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a felony stop. It could just be a high risk stop. For example, like the vehicle may have a hostage inside the vehicle, or they have a warrant, etc. You never know, especially if it's being called out. So if it's a high risk code 5 stop, it's going to be a signal 100.
Copy that.
So when a signal 100 is in effect, that means there's going to be no radio traffic transmitted whatsoever unless it is related to the call or scene that is responsible for the signal 100.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
Not so far.
All right. Give me a couple minutes. I gotta go do something out of my head really quick. I will be right back.
Take your
All right,
time.
and we'll try to get hold of Smith. Yeah, my head.
Welcome back, my friend. You back okay? I don't know if you can hear me or not. Smith, can you hear me? Okay.
Sorry about that.
You on radio channel 2, Smith?
Smith. Everybody here?
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Just wait. I'm trying to look at my key bindings for the police car. I'm not seeing any.
Well, when I had the lights on, I flexed left alt, it worked. Stayed on.
Maybe because I don't have the keys to the car. Maybe that's why. I don't have the key.
Was it unlocked?
Toss me the key. Give me. Okay, for that.
Should be able to search keys.
Just give key / give key.
It's all right now.
Hey, Commish, not much. Just waiting for Mrs. Hung here. She's in her head. We're just going over code 5. Stop.
That's what she was working on with y'all today.
Yeah. Just to go over the regular stuff that we're familiar with, but yeah. It so far, I mean, besides the regular stop, 10-11 and different things like that.
Okay.
You been
Alright,
alright,
let's
sir?
go back by the check on y'all. What's up?
I was asking if you've been alright.
Have I been doing what? Doing
Alright. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been alright, man. Making chilling. No. Not doing too much. Just seeing what I can get into, see if we got any criminals that wanted to do anything.
Yeah, it's always.
Who the
I can
fuck
imagine
is trying to
so.
rob houses over here. Let me go over here and see what the fuck going on.
Hey, be careful.
I got you.
Man, my neck is killing me.
I'll give it a reason to hurt. Anyways, were we able to get Smith caught back up to speed? We were just finishing up going over DUI, DWI.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Smithy here is more of a get in the car and hands-on kind of person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You know, you gotta go through training first before you get into a car.
Oh, no. I'm just saying he's better off hands-on. You know how some people learn, you know.
Oh, of course. So, right, and then we were going over code 5. So when you have a third unit, the third unit can pull up by a secondary unit and create a W formation.
Alright.
So the secondary, unit and the tertiary unit will keep their weapon trained on the vehicle when the primary unit is dealing with the subject. So when that's occurring, the secondary unit, so for example, if you're in this vehicle, you would keep your weapon trained on the driver's side. If you're on this side, you're going to keep your weapon trained on the passenger side.
Which is taser, but...
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Usually it's going to be lethal.
Yeah, I didn't want to pull.
Yeah.
I didn't want to
you're
pull
fine,
lethal
fine.
out.
Yeah, you're fine. And when you're clearing a vehicle, it takes 2 people to clear a vehicle. So for example, the Charger. This vehicle is very difficult to see through the back. You don't know how many people are inside the car. So that's why you always want to keep your weapon trained on the vehicle, because you have no idea how many people are in there. So when you're clearing, you want to basically slowly move. I'm gonna take my hand off the radio. So basically, this is what it should look like. Should look something like this. Make sure you're staying out of each other's crossfire, because I've seen it happen before. And you always want to meet at the front of the vehicle. Once the vehicle is clear, you always want to check the trunk. So usually one unit is going to be stationed here, have their gun trained on the trunk, and they're going to pop the trunk. And then another unit's going to pop the trunk. So, because you never know. There might be someone inside the trunk.
I think we had
Any
some
questions
similar
before?
happen on that, didn't we, Diggler?
Oh, yeah. Had some dirty bastard in the truck.
Yeah, I've seen one too many James Miranda pop out of a trunk of a vehicle. That was fun. Any questions so far on Code 5's how to clear a vehicle?
The only thing I didn't hear you say was about keys. When you're in the back, do we request that you put the keys out the car, or do we just tell them to turn the car off?
So, generally speaking, we will always command them to turn the vehicle off, and if you can, I always say throw the keys out the car, throw the keys out the window.
Yep.
So this is personally when I'm taking command of a Code 5. This is how I usually do it over the vehicle. Put your hands up. with your right hand, I want you to turn the vehicle off and toss the keys out the window. After doing so, I want you to use your left hand and open the door from the outside. Step out of the vehicle with your hands up and keep facing away from me. I want you to take 2 steps to your left and do a 360 and lift your shirt. I want you to take 3 steps backwards and get on your knees. So that is generally how I command a Code 5. The only reason why I include the lift your shirt and do a 360, I want to make sure there's no gun in the waistband.
I thought they were doing the hokey pokey or something.
The hokey pokey, yeah. No, because there's some cities where they can have a gun in the waistband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, we don't need somebody to pull their weapon out of their waistband and get absolutely lit the fuck up. Even though, you know, it's a 50-50 chance it does happen. Any questions about the Code 5 or how to clear a vehicle?
No.
Nope. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Alright, so up next we're going to talk about 1080. So 1080 is going to be a vehicle pursuit. 9 times out of 10 they're going to be a high-speed vehicle pursuit. And there's going to be different positions within a vehicle pursuit. There's always going to be the primary, secondary, and the subject. Primary units, primary job is to stay on the tail of the subject you're chasing. If you don't have a secondary unit, you need to make sure you're keeping the rest of RTO updated on your location. If there's a secondary unit, it is your responsibility to keep tabs of where you're going. You're the ones making the callouts. In previous cities, I've been awarded for my quote-unquote godly callouts, because I'm very good with my callouts, but I'm also pretty good with keeping up on pursuits.
Yeah, me too. I've been told I do a good job.
Yeah, I do a pretty good job too.
I was telling her, usually, like, you and I ride together because you suck at driving and are better at callouts.
Now, that's neither here nor there.
So definitely, it can be very daunting if you're the primary unit and you're the one initiating the 1080, but it comes with practice. So, especially if you're pretty used to the city, or pretty used to the cities, direction of travel is pretty easy. So when you're doing your callouts, you should always keep your postal, direction of travel, what street you're on, and a landmark. That is the simplest way of doing your callouts. So for example, if we're in a pursuit right now, let's say we're going westbound. So this is how a callout would sound like over RTO. Be advised, we're going to be headed westbound on Vespucci Boulevard. We're going to be passing MRPD Postal 217. Speeds are going to be about 60 miles an hour. We're going to be crossing over Center Street. I'm going to be crossing over Strawberry Avenue, passing Postal 200 now. So your callout should sound something like that. Include a posto, direction of travel, the street you're on, and a landmark. Reason why you want to do that is to help pinpoint location for other officers to respond if they need to. General rule of thumb, there should be no more than 4 or 5 units on a pursuit. We don't need the entire department on one pursuit.
Makes sense.
Like, we definitely don't need 8 officers for a guy that stole a bag of potato chips. And took off in his shipmobile. At max, you should maybe have like 3. If you're lucky to have Air 1, Air 1 will take over callouts. Ground units just need to, you know, be mindful of where you're going. And
once we get through training,
if you get lost, lose eyes of the subject, and Air 1 still has eyes, you just try to keep pace and try to follow. Spacing is very important when it comes to pursuits. We have pursuit policies for a reason, is to prevent, any fatalities, and unnecessary injuries. I would know because part of the reason why we have a new pursuit policy is because of me. Because I had a unit ram into my vehicle and launch me off the street into the Elysian Fields freeway and eject me from my vehicle. And I had no one check up on me, so yeah. Spacing is very important, especially if you have kind of an unstable internet connection, or if you know the person in front of you has an unstable internet connection, you'll know if you're rubber banding, or that person's rubber banding. So you want to keep at least 1.5 car lengths away from the person in front of you. You want to prevent ramming. You do not want to ram into the vehicle in front of you. Is that understood?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't need a radio. We're right here. So our vehicle policy, when it comes to pit maneuver, which is when it is I'm drawing a blank on what it stands for. It is an acronym. But it is an intervention technique that we use. That is when you take the front of your vehicle and you swipe either left or right on the back end of the vehicle in front of you. There's two ways of doing a pit maneuver. There's going to be something called a desync or bubble pit, and then there's just full-blown pit. Of course, it just depends on the internet connection of people. 9 times out of 10, when you're moving in for a pit, you always want to start off with a bubble pit. It's just to kind of test the water.
And that's what, 5 minutes after?
Yes. 5 minutes after a pursuit has initiated, that is when you can request a pit timer. So within that 5 minutes, you just need to stay on the tail of that person. And in that 5 minutes, you need to take into account of your surroundings. What are the road conditions like? What are the weather conditions? What is the population density? Any supervisor plus can authorize a pit. 9 times out of 10, it's always going to be a sergeant. It should be a sergeant plus. Most of the time, it'll probably just be me. I'll most likely authorize your pit, unless it does not follow the criteria of being under 65 miles an hour. And if weather, road, and population conditions are bad. When, for example, supervising officer that granted you the pit timer, when they ask for status, you will read back as such the weather, the road, population density, speed, all of those conditions. So you should be reading back as such. For example, advised conditions are going to be clear. Road, traffic's going to be clear, residential clear, weather clear, speeds of about 40 miles an hour. They will either give you the clear or not clear to perform your pit. You should not be pitting above 65 miles an hour. If you're pitting above 65 miles an hour, you're going to kill everybody involved. You're going to kill the people inside that car, you're going to kill yourself as well. You understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Because a high-speed crash like that is fatal. Hell, even pitting at 65 miles an hour can cause serious injury, if not fatal. So you absolutely need to be careful when you're doing a pit maneuver. So that's why you always want to make sure that everything is clear before you can even move in for a pit. When you move in for a pit and you complete the pit, you have to read back either successful or unsuccessful. If it's successful, you pin them to a wall, you box them in. Remember, do not ram other vehicles, because that is how the subject will get free, and you're starting over at 1080 all over again. Then you got your pit timer all over again. So, do not ram your vehicles whatsoever. I better not be seeing that, otherwise you will be having a chit-chat with me in my office. You understand me?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, I'm glad that there was that understanding. when a pit is unsuccessful, you cannot make any more attempts to pit unless they absolutely need to.
So we don't restart the timer.
Yes. For example, if you got them, for example, we're going to use this area over here. If you got them in here and you pit them into the parking lot here, and they're trying to escape through the driveway, and you pit them into like the fence, and you know they're trying to escape again, but you pit them into like the guard shack. That's perfectly fine. That is the only time where it's acceptable to do another pit maneuver in a short succession like that. But if you're trying to do a pit and then you're like pit unsuccessful, and then you go down the road and try and do another pit within like a minute, that's not okay. That violates our pursuit policy. At that time, you need to request another pit timer.
Okay.
Any questions so far about the pit? I'm sorry, pursuit policy? What on earth?
I think I'm good on that one.
It's precision immobilization technique.
I believe so.
Yeah, I had to look it up. That's why. I didn't want to leave you. It would have bugged me if I didn't know either.
Yeah, I was like, I know it's like something intervention, something technique. But generally speaking, yes, that is how you would go about it. They're probably wondering what the hell we're doing. Whose phone is that?
Anybody want to do the processing?
I'm doing a training right now for cadets.
That's actually not mine.
Wanted to show them the process.
We are not there yet. We are barely going over pursuit policy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Let's see. He needs to learn to fucking do it himself. Fucking lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, we processed the other night.
I will absolutely chew your ass out if your report looks like shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways,
I mean, we were hired for 3 minutes when we had to get involved in one.
I believe it. Okay. So after that, after pursuits, we'll go over 1070. So 1070 kind of follows the same rules as a pursuit. Basically, instead of a vehicle pursuit, you're on a foot pursuit. So instead of pursuing a vehicle, you're pursuing a person on foot. This is where going to the gym is very handy. You know, hit the gym, get your stamina running up, and then you go, you know, you're the next Usain Bolt.
Okay, because
I've
like.
been known to run some criminals down before.
Yeah, I might have accidentally ran a local over and stepped on his throat, but we don't talk about that.
Let's pull out the charge here. Let's charge her.
I mean, it was an accident. He's fine.
That's what they all say, don't they?
Just has a feeding
Apparently,
tube now.
Well, he said thank you to me, and I was a little confused, but okay.
Maybe he's into that kind of stuff.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna question it. Look, I've seen a couple weird things in my time. Before I started law enforcement, I did modeling. So yeah, I've seen a couple weird things.
I'll say so.
Yeah.
It's a shame you hide your face if you were a model.
I hide my face because I was a model.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I don't need paparazzi to recognize me if I'm doing this now.
He's famous, okay.
Well, yeah. I don't know. If you were to see what was under the mask, you'd probably put two and two together on some magazines or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, not Playboy.
I wasn't even thinking there.
God, no.
Yeah, we weren't thinking that one. I was thinking maybe like.
Oh no, I had a cadet last night saying Playboy, and I was like, absolutely not. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So when you are pursuing a person on foot, always keep up your comms and direction of travel. It's gonna be a little different than than a vehicle pursuit, whereas a vehicle pursuit, you're a little more linear when you're on the roads, where, and of course, in case you're gonna go off-road, so, you know, you can say like, oh, we're gonna be headed off-road now, off the Sonora Freeway, etc. But when you're on foot, it's a little more difficult to keep up, your location. So you definitely wanna, try and, keep up your location. So for example, we're on a foot pursuit around this area. I would say we're headed northbound on Center Street, passing MRPD. We're going up the MRPD ramp. Something like that. We're going to be cutting through the alleyway at 210, something, you know. Try and pinpoint it and keep your landmarks. Landmarks are definitely helpful, especially if you don't know the postal off the top of your head. Or hell, you can even say, like, we're passing the building that has the Templar Hotel sign on it. Although that is very specific. But, you know, the more specific you are with your location, the better. When it comes to evidence collection, you should have evidence bags. And flashlights. So when you use your flashlight, you should see bullet casings and what direction that they were fired in. That's pretty useful for if we are going to have subdivisions, it's going to be helpful for detectives slash GIU to process evidence a little better. And of course, when you're finding fingerprints. Something that they were saying was that when you're on a 1011, you want to leave your fingerprint on the vehicle that you're on a 1011 with. So that's something that you could definitely do. Kind of helps place you to the vehicle that you're on a 1011 with in case you take off or something were to happen to you. God forbid something happens to you, but you know, with how people are, you never know. And it sucks.
Yeah, you don't want to go missing.
Of course. Let's see, what else do we got? Breach and clear. So breach and clear, usually there's always going to be two sides on the door. You're going to have one side, usually they're going to have a shield and an array of lethal weapons. Usually you're going to have a person with a shield and a pistol, then you have the different long arms, and then you have one unit off to whatever side with a shotgun to breach doors. I usually have my cadets do an evac course, but my thing is, you know, just don't drive like an asshole and try not to make your car look like a potato.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, we don't want a potato.
That's the reason Diggler doesn't usually drive.
Yeah, just don't, just try not to crash your vehicle. So that's my word of advice, is don't crash your vehicle. If you can avoid crashing your vehicle, great. Smith, you're awfully quiet. Do you have any questions? I have no idea what you're saying.
Yep, I'm here. No questions.
No questions at all?
Nope.
Okay, how would you initiate a 1011?
Yeah, you got me. I kind of lost focus after about the sixth, seventh, eighth paragraph. Sorry.
Christ Almighty, how are you going to survive these streets? The proper response to that would be, you're still inside your vehicle and you will call out over RTO your call sign. So in this instance, for me it's going to be 102. So 102, I'm going to be on the 1011 near, it's supposed to be 217. We're going to be on Center Street. Vehicle's going to be a black and color 4-door Charger. No 32s required. Diggler, what is the 32?
That would be extra.
Sorry, that would be extra police force or your backup.
An additional unit, yes. So 32 Yes, or you don't need one. Again, you want to keep that within your first transmission about your 1011. Whether you need one or not. Or if you have one on scene, you would say something along the lines of, I have a 32 on scene if they could advise. And usually they will say what their call sign is.
Okay.
Any questions?
No. Pretty good, pretty good.
I do my best to try and explain things in detail.
That's good.
All right. So, back to breach and clear. So breach and clear, we are always going to have lethal weapons. So it is incredibly important to have communication and to be sure that you're out of each other's crossfire. When you have good communication, you have a lower chance of crossfire. Crossfire is bad because you can end up, putting a bullet into each other. Let's not do that, yeah? We don't need officers sending each other to the hospital.
Yeah, I'll do my best not to.
Exactly. Let's try not to. So we're gonna use a PD actually to do the breach and clear. We're not actually gonna be firing any weapons, but I will show you how to properly clear a room. So follow me. We're just gonna use the press room, just to show you how you should be clearing a room. So you would have units stacked up on this side. Most units should be stacked up on this side. Then you would have the entry unit on that side. So let's say he has a shotgun, he would be the one that would be, like firing the door open if it's locked.
Bang.
So let's say that the door is fine. You're gonna slowly move in, and you make sure that you cover each other's sixes. And you're gonna do sweeps. Make sure to watch for crossfire, and you're gonna hear a lot of watch cross, watch cross. Once the room is clear, you're good to move on. Any questions about breach and clear?
Nope, that's... Yep, okay.
I think I'm okay on that one.
Okay, we're gonna practice breaching and clearing some of the rooms here. These rooms are a little more challenging.
Now,
Alright, so I want you to breach and clear the archives room.
Okay, real
So show
quick.
me how...
Sorry,
What's
on a single door, we still having one person, the main
Yes.
breacher, and then follow back behind, one left, one right?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually on a
Right, show
single
me
door with a breacher, the breacher busts the door open and then falls in last, don't they?
Yes, that is correct. Alright, so show me how you guys are gonna do it.
Got it, Smith?
Breaching in 3, 2, 1, bang.
Alright. Doing good so far. I'm going to go hide in one of the rooms upstairs, and you guys are gonna breach and clear the entire upstairs.
Okay.
The upstairs floor. Not the rooftop. Okay, so I'm gonna go hide in one of the rooms, and I want you guys to breach and clear. Okay? I want you guys to be using the radio.
Just the next one going up, right?
Yes, the next floor up.
Okay,
Alright.
sounds good.
So make sure you're using the radio, and I want you guys to establish command, who's taking command, and etc. Make sure you're not gonna fire your dudes, okay?
Simple.
10-4. Alright, boys. I'll take breaching position. Have you two on clear?
Yep. What does she want us to say? Something about crossfire? What'd she say?
Like
Watch
if,
your cross?
Watch cross.
yeah, watch cross. So just make sure, like, if you start to line up on one of us, you drop, like, go out of ADS and
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I want to be hearing communications from you guys on RTO.
all right, we were just making a plan down here before.
April?
Are you ready?
Ready or not, here we come.
Post up on
Ready or
stairs.
not, simulate.
Begin. Sweep. Diggler, look right. Smith, take left.
Clear.
Hallway clear.
And stairwell's clear.
And let's move all.
Hall's clear.
Okay, let's take meeting room. Line up or follow up on Diggler. Ready to breach. In 3, 2, 1, bang.
Right side's clear.
Got your 6 covered. Room's clear. Push on through. Follow up on dispatch center. Ready to breach in 3, 2, 1, breach.
Right side.
Room clear.
Here. Got a suspect right here.
Room is definitely not clear, whoever called that out.
I literally thought that was a paperweight when I saw your beanie.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at blending in. So, one thing I do want to know, I totally forgot to tell you guys, that's my fault, is when you're breaching and clearing, you always want to make yourself known. So for example, you would be calling out LSPD, make yourself known, something along those lines.
Okay.
In
Yep,
4.
that makes sense.
Other than that, you guys did, really well with the breach and clear. You guys had very open comms, and so far, I liked what I heard.
I should have been saying stack up, but
No, I heard that. You guys did really well. Okay, so the last thing I want to cover is something called BLS. BLS is basic life support. So that is when you are administering first aid to any individual on a scene that is injured. So you always want to prioritize anybody that has the most severe injuries. I know they say prioritize, LEO over a suspect, but let's be honest. Are you going to prioritize an LEO with a paper cut over a subject who's missing a leg?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
Yes,
not.
yeah.
well, do I like the person missing a leg or no?
And how long's the leg
I'm
been
joking,
missing?
of course, I'm joking.
Yeah, it's true.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you always want to prioritize the person that has the more severe injury. For example, most of the time it's going to be because of an OIS. OIS is an officer-involved shooting. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be because barricaded subjects or shootouts between criminals and the LEO. If an LEO is struck and you have a suspect that's also struck, prioritize the LEO. And then the sub. Make sure, there's not like 4 people on one person. If you see that there's at least 2 people on one person, you can move on and administer aid to another person.
Should be common sense, but
It should be common sense, but you'd be surprised. Trust me, the one time I got shot, I had the entire sheriff's office on my ass instead of the subject. And I'm like, I'm okay. I've only been shot once. and I just, totally didn't mag dump the subject, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, any questions about the training?
No. I do like doing more like the breach and clear type training.
Oh yeah. This is not the traditional breach and clear training that I do. The breach and clear training that I do does involve live fire. The only reason why we are not doing that is because, well, we can't just magically pop back up after getting shot,
Yeah.
It would be pretty cumbersome to be running back and forth to pillbox and having to explain why we've been here in the span of 10 minutes. Yeah, that'd be pretty cumbersome. So, I normally do the breach and clear training at the ATC tower at Fort Zancudo, but they have not fixed Fort Zancudo. Because if you so much as fire your gun inside Fort Zancudo, yeah, you immediately explode. Yeah, they haven't fixed that yet. Yeah, so that's why we're not doing training at Zancudo. So I call the ATC tower my playground, because every other city that I've done the training in at that tower, no one has survived me. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But yeah, it definitely teaches my cadets how to really be mindful of their surroundings.
That makes sense. Maybe the department can look into maybe paintball guns or training.
Maybe. That would be nice. So we're not unloading mags into each other. That'd be great. I mean, I've suggested a lot for the PD, but we have to wait and see. I'd love to actually do proper breach and clear training. Instead of having to do whatever the heck this is. This is very improv. But we made it work. And you guys did great.
Alright, sounds good.
Okay, just give me a second to update the roster. And with that, you guys are no longer cadets. You guys are now probationary officers. All I have to do is take you guys downstairs, fix you guys up with your ranks, do you guys on roster. But other than that, yeah, get you guys your new call signs. Give me a second. Okay, David Savage, your new call sign is going to be Adam 803.
Adam 803.
Dirk Diggler, your new call sign is Adam 804. Smith, your new call sign is Adam 805. You guys are now probationary officers, and you guys are going to need your ride-along. So ride-alongs can span anywhere between 2 hours to however long you feel you need.
Okay, so that would be A-805 for me, right?
Yes. Kind of how I have mine formatted. So it's going to be A-102 for me, and then A-803 for you.
Alright. Got mine set, A-803.
Alright, perfect. So, keep in mind, I have on the roster that you guys are needed to do 2 hours of ride-along. So you can do your ride-along with any officer plus, okay? You cannot be riding with another probie because that's not how that works. You guys are training and learning together. So you definitely need to be learning with someone who's a little more experienced. With Dirk and David, I know you guys are a little more experienced, so your guys' RA shouldn't take too long. I don't know if we have any other officers on duty. Let's see. Right. So I just need to get you guys your job specs downstairs, which if you guys will follow me. All right, and you guys should be all set now. All right. So again, you guys just need to do your ride-alongs, and once you guys get your ride-alongs done, make sure to verify them in the PD chat. So the person that you did your ride-along with, you're gonna ping that person in the chat and say, "Hey, I did my ride-along with this person." They can verify that sort of thing. Just because we don't have a proper system to verify ride-alongs just yet. So that is how you're gonna verify your ride-alongs. Any questions so far?
No, ma'am, we got it.
No.
Makes sense.
I think it'll probably be Wednesday before I'm able to do that part, though.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Other than that, congratulations, you guys. You guys passed your training.
All
And I
right.
hope to see you guys out on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your in-depth training. You did well. I love it.
Thank you. Of course.
Definitely appreciate it.
I have an open door policy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always reach out to me.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Yep, of course. You guys take it easy now, okay?
Yep,
All right, you too.
Thank you. All right, boys, I think I'm going to fly out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same. You wanna hop over and Discord you for a minute?
Yes, Smith, what do you want to do? Nope.
.803 is going 10-7 for the night.
Yep. 804 is 10-7. Everybody have a wonderful night.
I think we're on the wrong radio anyway, but it's all right.